farm falling apart metal wire fences. So you could go, when you're a kid, your parents don't want you to go too far, mostly because they're scared you're going to get hit by a car, right? And they're scared you're going to get kidnapped and all this shit. So that main road I was saying, on one side of the main road was all our cul-de-sacs, these like 12 cul-de-sacs. On the other side of that main road was another neighborhood. Through that neighborhood, you could like connect streets and get to the closest cool area to hang out, which was not cool actually, but it was just a bunch of stores, a little strip mall basically. But it was cool. It wasn't a strip mall in a sense, because like it wasn't just all these generic boring stores that you see these days, which have no character. It wasn't like a fucking a Borders bookstore or a fucking all these chains. It was actually cool kind of stores, local restaurant, fucking there was a comic book store, or like a baseball card store, comic book store. There was a kung fu or whatever, like a taekwondo place. There was a UDF, which was like the only corporate fucking store in the shit. But it didn't even feel corporate, it just felt like UDF. UDF is a fucking gas station convenience store. There was a drive-through, not grocery, what do you call it? A drive-through convenience store, where you actually drive your car through and you can get cigarettes, this kind of shit you can get at, well, it was like a liquor store too. You could drive through and get cigarettes, liquor, potato chips, shit like that. So this whole area you could get to if you crossed the main street and went into the neighborhood and connected streets. You could get there. And I remember before I started skating, so there's two things. I'm sorry. So that little grassy area at the end of the cul-de-sacs, our parents, me and our little hood rat friends on the cul-de-sac, and we were hood rats, dude. We were little troublemakers, man. Like, we were starting fires. We had a little crew. And I lived in a weird area where it was like, they say like the wrong side of the tracks. That's really true. And I'm sure there's some kind of real reason behind it, like in terms of like city planning and shit. I technically lived and I went to a nice high school, pretty nice high school, but there was like these outskirt areas where they were like kind of ghetto. And on one side of the tracks was the old historic area of the town that I lived in, and all the new, where it was like the whole historic area was kind of like the old money. And then also on that same side of the tracks was kind of like the new money, this like kind of new developments of rich people. Then on the other side of the tracks was where I lived. So it was like all these like cheaply made houses and duplexes. I lived in a duplex, and they weren't bad, don't get me wrong. It was not the hood. It really wasn't the hood. It was a safe place. You didn't have to worry about it wasn't like, it wasn't unsafe. It was very safe. But it was like something, it was like the houses were cheaply made. It was like this great area for people that were like lower class to like live in and be able to go to a nice school and be able to live a good life, but they were like lower class. And like I know that the place I lived in, it was $700 a month, and that was we had 1, 2, it's a 3-bedroom for $700 a month. You know, so that's like the price range that we're talking about. And so it was weird. You had like some, it looked all right because it looked okay, but it was but it was cheaply made, you know what I mean? These houses and stuff. And now it's like it's getting like, every time I go back and visit, it's like, we all knew it was gonna happen because it's like cheaply made and shit, that it's like turning into a ghetto, you know? And it was ghetto in a certain sense. The whole point I'm trying to say is like, it had a lot of fucking characters, man, and a lot of drug problems. Because, I don't know, that shit just comes with like lower class people, you know? We had a guy who, he fucking just left he was a junkie. Oh, come on. Give it to me. Oh, what? Dude. You see this fucking shit? I thought I was about to hit a glorious tunnel. But, no. It's not. There's nothing to write on. It's like they never finished construction. So weird. They didn't finish construction. I don't know if you can see this shit. They just stopped. They didn't fill in all the concrete on the fucking, there should be walls there. Like, I'm just saying, for example, this one dude, there was all, you know, and everyone kind of knew each other, and like all the drug people knew each other. There was like 6 houses. There was like, how many houses were on this court? There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's like 12 duplexes on this court. All right, and like probably about like 6 to 8 of them, of people that lived in these duplexes, were fucked up and on drugs, and somehow they all got to know each other, you know what I mean? And there was all kinds of drama that would happen, and cops, and there could have been a fucking movie, or I mean, there could have been a reality show about our court. There is no fucking doubt about it. It would have been hilarious. There was just so much drama. And it's funny when you live on a court, because you come out your house, you see, like, it's like a community. It's like a little community, a cul-de-sac, with just a small cul-de-sac like that, you know? You come out of your house, you can see everyone's house that lives there. You can see everyone when they're out. You can, hey, talk to them, you know? It's like a little commune, really. It really is like a commune. So, I mean, just for example, with this one guy, you know, news spreads with all the drug people, and we all knew that this one guy had like abandoned his house. And so me and the kids, you know, we and some kids had already broken in, and they had done graffiti, like painted, and I'm not talking like graffiti, like I'm talking like real vandalism. They just like, fuck you, and, you know, civilian graffiti. They had broken into his house and like painted shit, and I went in there with my friend, and it was a fucking disgusting, man. This guy was a heroin addict, and there was, and I don't know why fucking drug people have dogs and shit, but this guy had a fucking dog, and there was